clubs in the bag, I've got a dream. From one small town to the next tee box, a life on the road, chasing drives and shots.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is Monday after the big John Deere Classic, and it is a great day in the world of golf. And this is our second half of the year, beginning to Golfers Golf and Travel, our inaugural show leading up to, whoever would have thought, the PGA show in 2027. That's it. And the PGA show coming to your area of the woods down there in Dallas, Texas. And with me is my sidekick partner of decades, Art Stricklin. How you doing, Art?
Hey, always good to be with you, Randy. It's a sunny Monday here in Dallas, but out here in air-conditioned comfort and not playing golf in 98 degrees. So that's okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, last week down at the John Deere, I went down there on Tuesday, and of course you knew that big heat wave was hitting everywhere. Well, I swear the John Deere was center focus. It was exhausting. You could find a seat anywhere to watch that. But it cooled off by the weekend. Big storms went through, and learned a lot at that tournament. I really everybody knows maybe Art, but he's are you president or former president of Texas Golf Writers Association at this point in time?
President.
The president, the leader, the guru, man of many books, and he is a gentleman that was in the contention for the Pulitzer Prize on some other things. We're going to get into that. We're going to have a show just about Art Stricklin, but he also is in charge of the Art of Golf Travel. And so what's going on? Let's get to the Art of Golf Travel just briefly. Are you just getting back from a trip, or what's going on with that?
Yeah, we had a couple of trips. We were up in Colorado a couple of weeks ago, and saw the new Childress Hall golf course, which spectacular. Gil Hans, Tom Doak course, and further proof that you can build a course anywhere and make it look great if you've got the right architect. I mean, proving that at Bandon Dunes, proving that in Sand Valley where you are, and I think are proving that at Childress Hall in remote Childress, Texas. So did Colorado Golf Club, new Rodeo Dunes, Dream Golf Course. So all good, all good.
Yeah. So what do you have on the calendar for your trips? Because Art lines up exquisite trips all over the world. What's upcoming in your world?
We are going in 2 weeks, actually, 2 weeks from tomorrow, the 21st to the 25th of July. We're going to Nova Scotia, Halifax, Nova Scotia, and then we're going up to the spectacular, resorts up there, Fox Harbor, and all the great places. We're going to PEI, links at Crowbrush Cove. And so, we're going Cabot Links, Cabot Dunes. So doing that, getting out of the Texas heat. And then in August, we're doing kind of a fun trip, kind of an informal trip, but fun. We're going to San Diego. And no better place to spend August than San Diego for sure. And that is August 19th through the 21st, Randy. And actually, we still have a couple of spots open. So somebody watching, listening, says, hey, Torrey Pines, where Tiger and John Rahn both conquered. We're playing at Aviara, LPGA Vineyard, playing at Omni Costa and staying Omni Costa. So a couple of spots left for that. You need more details, www.theartofgolf.com. It's got all the details.
That's fantastic. We also have that up on our Shop My account as a link right to his website. And once you go there, it's if you need that link. Oh, that's right. People need a link from me, because what happens is that we have some special things we do for people that go through our account, and we don't gather your information. It goes directly to Art's website. It's really pretty cool. Now, do you always take that trip? The one thing that everybody always asks me, do you always have that annual trip going to the Masters? Is that something that you do every year?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've got the annual. Last year, I think I told you, took 14 people to the Masters, all-time record. And 10 first timers, so pretty awesome. Kid in a candy store. And so we're doing the Masters this year. Probably should know. People always ask me how soon they should plan on the Masters. Probably by end of the month, 1st of August, we should know about how many tickets going to be available, badges they call them. So yeah, we'll do that. We've got the house already lined up, of course, and so should be fun. Great time at the Masters. We're playing at the site of the PGA Championship 2027, Omni PGA Frisco, which is where the Summer Golf Show will be in a couple of weeks. But we're actually playing there on September. We're going to play there in September. So
Beautiful.
Anyway, good stuff all the way around.
Well, Art, again, we're going to be spreading the word. Art and I have known each other for about 15 decades, right? We both celebrated the 10-year anniversary of the United States of America, but not true. Anyway, Art and I have been doing shows one or another, but Art now is a formal part of Golfers Golf and Travel, also a contributor to our magazine, which he did. If you want to see that magazine, you can go to our websites. It's all linked out there. We've got another summer, well, we're going to call it midsummer, early fall magazine coming out toward the end of July, middle of August. And I'm sure Art's going to have some
absolutely, yeah,
articles and visionary moments in our Golfers Golf and Travel magazine. So all of that being said, I want to get to this past week. I spent the majority of the week down at the John Deere. And, you know, the headline is a couple of weeks ago, Brian Rolap, being the new CEO for the PGA Tour, has decided there's going to be a third rail, a middle rail, if you want to call it that, of the PGA having two divisions in what, 2028?
2028.
Yeah, formally. So there's been conjecture about you know, elevated events and lower rung events, and the guys that play in the elevated events can't play in the lower rung events, and like Scotty Scheffler, you know, the events that he cut his teeth on there in Texas, he potentially wouldn't be allowed to play in. Well, to be more pointed about that, I spent virtually every day from Tuesday through Sunday at the John Deere, and they have one of the most dedicated group of people. From even the people, how they treat people down there is incredible. The people that show up down there is incredible. I went down there really to cover the tournament, but expecting that, well, you know, this tournament's been sort of little, they probably should move it to Chicago, and walked away thinking absolutely the opposite. That tournament should stay down there in the Quad Cities. Chris Gotterup, that won the tournament, his story is he wrote to get a sponsor's exemption 4 years ago. At the time, his letter said, you know, I'll do anything, just let me in. I'll do, you know, outings for you. I'll do kids camps. I just need to play in your tournament. And they did. And he ends up winning now tearfully. I was right next to him, he and his brother. And when the ball went in the water, you know, it wasn't his ball at the end. But what do you think of that tournament? What do you think of everything that's going on in golf right now?
Well, you make a very good example. I see the Quad Cities, John Deere. I see that as the Green Bay Packers of the PGA Tour. We're not moving the Green Bay Packers out of Green Bay and moving them to Nashville or something, because Nashville's a bigger town and has more airports, and
Right.
you know, and Green Bay is only 100,000 people. I mean, the Packers are synonymous with. So why would you move? Why would you want to move Quad Cities? You know, John Deere to Chicago. It just, and somebody made a really good point that I had not thought of. Web Golf tried to go to big cities in America. They tried to go to New Orleans, Dallas, Nashville. They went to Chicago, outside of Chicago, and Web Golf really had no real luck going to big cities because, you know, people got a lot of stuff to do. But you come to dedicated communities, which obviously John Deere is, and So really interesting what's going to happen. You mentioned the Dallas tournaments. We just got finished for the Byron Nelson and Colonial. Uh, it seems unlikely that both of those are going to be tier one tournaments. I think they're calling them now. So, but you know, people who have supported tournaments for decades, you're going to all of a sudden get rid of them. It just doesn't make sense to me.
No, and how many billions of dollars has been raised by PGA Tour events over the years? Nearly what, $3 billion at this point in time. The John Deere has contributed well over $200 million, one of the leading, raisers of money for charity. And I think that sometimes has been forgotten for this dash for money on the, because of Live, that the money that's being raised in the communities. But down there, the woman that drove us, they had the media parking lot. It was about a 5-minute drive, but they had brand new Lexuses for us, pull in. And a woman by the name of Mother Quinn drove us yesterday from the course back to our car. And if you heard her story and her husband's story, that have been part of just parking cars, transporting players, caddies, media people, and even different patrons and such to the places for over 15 years. And they just fight to be that contributor to the event. They have golf carts running all over. If you need a cart, you put, I don't care if you're just there to be an attendee. If you want something, put your hand up, somebody comes over and says, "What can I do for you?" I've never seen that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what a local tournament, I don't know, a lot of people may not know the Byron Nelson tournament is run by the Salesmanship Club. And basically Salesmanship Club or CEOs or C-level people in Dallas companies, North Texas companies. So, but you're right. I mean, these guys are the CEO of XYZ company. They're the guy's chief thoracic surgeon at Parkland Hospital. But for 1 week, you put your hand up and they're like, how can we help you?
Yeah.
And because they are dedicated to their cause. And that's the same way. And so do we really need to get rid of that on the PGA Tour? I don't think so. The other thing is the whole, and I've not heard this explained, but are you telling me that if Scotty Scheffler, who grew up going to the Byron Nelson, and Byron Nelson's not a tier one tournament, and you're telling Scotty Scheffler can't play in his hometown event?
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I just, the whole thing is baffling to me. I don't know why. I mean, I realize that Roef comes from the NFL and he wants to do the NFL mindset.
Yeah.
But, what's wrong with doing things that have been successful in the past? And the whole thing on charity, I think that gets forgotten that, all these places raise money for charity. And this guy, the Byron Nelson, told me their charity is a salesmanship club that works with at-risk youth in the North Texas area. And this guy told me, he said, a lot of places raise money for charity. We raise money for our charity. And that makes a huge difference because we're raising money for things that we have a personal stake in. So a lot to be determined, right now with PGA Tour. Just don't know what's going to happen. But why get rid of things that have been successful like John Deere? And obviously, John Deere puts a lot of money into it. They've got money and they put money into it. The Byron Nelson is the CJ Corporation, which is the largest business conglomerate in Korea.
Wow.
And, and so the chairman of the CJ Corporation was there and, they're basically the General Motors of Korea, I guess is the best way to put it, or they do a ton of stuff, but they've signed a 10-year contract. So you're really going to tell somebody that's the leading company in Korea with a 10-year contract to take a hike? We don't need you any longer?
I don't think so.
John Deere, I'm sorry, you guys are great, but, get lost because we're good. None of that makes sense to me, Randy.
I don't understand with the way golf right now is, the ratings are great, the visibility is great, and really what's happening, and again, I'm going to take a little credit for this after COVID, where all everybody got into golf that wasn't into golf. They're now looking around and knowing that hitting balls into simulators and outdoor places with nets, just leave the name off of that. They thought, hey, you know what? There's actually local courses we can go play. So
Right.
the number of rounds being played right now, even in my own Park District course out in my backyard, you can't find a tee time. It used to be I could go pay an annual fee, grab my bag, go out at night, go play. Nope, not today. They got tee times up to like 6:20 or whatever it is. And you sit there and why screw with it? And Brian Rolap, coming from football, doesn't really, I don't think, I mean, he said in past, he was talking about playing the 17th hole, the iconic 17th hole at the
Yeah.
Players. And I
Yeah.
think he got it on the green or whatever it was. And he said, that's it. My career is
Reason.
over. He's a marketing guy. Appreciate that. But this whole, now on one end, adding a second layer or another, let's say 150 guys to the world of golf, because there's so many great players from, Corn Ferry to the
Oh,
PGA Tour. You could add another layer of 200 guys in the middle, and watch some great golf.
oh, sure, sure.
But I want to go on to another subject. During the press conferences early last week, your great friend, greatest golfer, in the past and now trying to find his wings again, but wonderful human being, Jordan Spieth, had a very, very interesting press conference, and an item came out that I really wanted to share with you because he came out and, to paraphrase, he said this whole, outrageous conduct at tournaments really has to go away. But he said that golf is the only sport where gambling could be affected by somebody shouting in somebody's backswing. And the example he gave is you could take, Art Strickland versus the field to win on Sunday. Okay, whatever that case might be. And you might have 10,000 to 1 on the field. And you could then, as a person that has that bet, when Art goes on a backswing on the final hole or the final shot going into the 18th hole at the John Deere, yell in the middle of his backswing and affect his swing, but also affect the gambling,
Yeah.
the outcome.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
Be
And
very careful.
did you listen to that quote? Were you aware?
Yeah, I did. And then they brought up Wyndham Clark. They asked him, why did Wyndham Clark get so much abuse at Shinnecock during the Open? And he said a lot of it was gambling. A lot of people had money on Scotty or had money on Rory or had money on something else. So, yeah, I think that's true. That is the danger of gambling. And, you know, you don't have to look at golf, look at any sport that is really just cover that. But golf is always compelling, and I think this is why I felt sorry for Ben Knowles on 18 that only needed a par to get in a playoff birdie to win. Hicks his ball in the water, but that's what makes golf so compelling because you
Yeah.
just don't ever know. I mean, if you had said, he's in the middle of the 18th fairway, hey, I'll give you a 5-1 odds that he hooks in the water. Well, nobody's thinking that he's gonna aim way right and curve it in, but that's the way it is. Phil at Wingfoot with the 2-shot lead at the US Open. John Vanderbilt with the 3-shot lead at 18. Carnoustie. I mean, and to me, that's what makes golf so compelling. You just don't ever know.
Well,
And
I
you don't know
think
with our game, you don't know with their game,
yeah, that I just saw. I mean, I could give you. We all could. I mean, somebody it just hit my Facebook the replay of Jack and my good friend Doug Sanders. Winning way back when. The whole thing hit Facebook, and I sat and I looked at that. Or you could think of the shots when Jack won in '86. That Greg Norman flew into the crowd and Seve,
Yeah, yeah.
on 15. There's always or Scott Hoke and in the Masters, and you can go back. Scott, it's just golf is just a mind numbing game, and
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt. So
we had something just as an aside. So we went and Joanne and I went and spent yesterday, Sunday, on the ninth hole, watch everybody play through. We were at the John Deere employee that asked us to come in and sit in their facility. It was really nice, some nice shaded, but we were sitting at a round table outside that had a umbrella cover on it, talking to a nice grandma and her son sitting next to us. And all of a sudden I hear an explosion. Bam! It's just like an explosion went off. What happened was Max Homa hit a ball left, which would be in what we would be called the crowd. It bounced off the glass table that we were sitting at, and
Wow.
between the grandma and the son, bounding into the woods.
Wow.
50
Wow.
yards away, one hop, dash. And you talk about the good Lord looking over us on that. I mean, it could have hit anybody in the face. It could have hit a rebound. It could have shattered the table. It hit on that table like a cannon went off. They found the ball, gave him a drop. Max had a drop, terrible drop, duffed it short of the green. Of course, he's in contention now. He's coming up, playing well. Hits it short of the green in some more long grass, and then chips it in the hole for his par. Well,
How good those guys are.
professional. Oh, watch if you want to go watch short game, go to a hole like that because it was great. But here's what happened. Because I was in media, I did an immediate, I'm going to put it up today, interview of this little young man who, he's like a 13, 14-year-old kid, maybe that age, maybe younger. That just happened. And I went over, Max was standing right there after he finished his hole, talking to security right at the edge. And I said, hey, that ball hit a glass table over here. And it was pretty interesting. What happened to the ball? Well, the gendarmes had it in his pocket and called the kid up, gave it to him. And then Max said, hey, have the young man come to me in the autograph section. And, at the end of the day, he's going to autograph the ball, take some pictures. So the point of that whole thing is how wonderful these guys are to take time. They understand, Max did, it made that kid's day. I wrote to the grandma today and I said, did your grandson have a great day? And she wrote back this glowing email, so I know you never hit your ball off course at all.
Sure.
Art, you're spot on all the way. So what's
Uh,
going on in the world of art today, this week? What are you doing this week for excitement?
Actually, not a lot of excitement. It's working here at the house. When you travel as much as I do, you gotta have a couple of days just to refocus and get everything ready. But like I said, we got a couple of weeks going to Canada, so we're working on that. And Canada trip, 3 great venues, going to Fox Harbor, which is right in the middle of Nova Scotia, going to Links at Crowbush Cove, which Golf Digest named best new course in North America, when it opened a few years ago. And then we're going up to Cabot Links, Cabot Dunes, which is the hottest new golf resort in America or North America. So yeah, it's gonna be a great trip. It's getting ready for that. Like San Diego's coming up in August, so we're gonna do San Diego. Then we've got Northern Michigan, got a couple of spots. You want to go up to Cool Randy territory? We're going up to treetops, and we're going up to treetops, all those places. So it's all good.
Well, I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm going my annual trip up to Lake Superior to our partner's cabin. We're going to do our Through Wisconsin, our new magazine coming out. Just a little heads up, we are featuring the tri-state area of Michigan, Illinois, and Wisconsin. That is, get this, Art, the most condensed area in the world for golf courses, for major tournaments, and guys that play golf.
Wow.
The statistic goes back to, I said to somebody, one of my friends, I don't know, about a month ago, I said, back in the early 2000s, statistic at the PGA show was that 80% of all the golf merchandise was bought within 800 miles of Dayton, Ohio. Whoever came up with that statistic. Okay. Well, I said, I wonder if that statistic still is viable. So I did the research, and all of a sudden I realized, yeah, there's 2,000 golf courses, the most dense population of golfers. So our new magazine coming out is going to be focused on those three states. So I know that you've played a lot in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
You and I enjoyed gaining weight at the US Open up there, at the not so wonderful US Open health. I was telling the people at the media center that story about I gained 13 pounds in 1 week by sitting in the media center at the US Open. It's just it was disgusting.
Yeah,
But
it's
we have
absolutely.
well, and then you've got. Are you going to go to the PGA show in the end of July? Do you end up going to?
Yeah, I will. In fact, maybe we'll do a show from there. Maybe
Well, we're talking about actually coming down. I have written to every one of those people going to be at the distributors or people that are exhibitors. I've written to them within the last 30 days that one way or another we're going to try to connect with them, either through attending or whatever. So yeah, we'll do a show from there, or we'll do it together, or whatever.
Yeah. We'll have dinner, get a
Yeah.
little Texas barbecue. That is, it'll be a good time. But the product cycle has changed. Usually by January, when the Orlando show is,
Yeah,
most people have bought their stuff for the year.
yeah.
So July is really an important show because it got people going. What are we going to have for 27? A lot of stuff out there. PGA, obviously, a lot of fun. So yeah, come on, that'll be fun.
Yeah, the show is really interesting. I was looking at the exhibitors, and it does look like an interesting show. Of course, you're going to have a lot of your apparel, like for, heads up for people. Why is it this year? You got if you want new things coming to your pro shop, they got to order them ahead of January because
Right.
the pro shops are unboxing their goods, and they have to go to they figured this out. They have to go order them for this show in July to get those new
Right.
ones
No
out.
doubt.
So it's great. And anyway, Art, look forward to doing this, right now, once a week, maybe as we go forward. There are going to be some things come up. If I find out where Art is traveling, I'll track him down.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Go from there.
we'll do this and we'll look forward to welcoming you to Frisco. Always a good time.
Well, Art always has a good time to go to the PGA show because somehow the last night we were there, I get talked into going out to Benihana, and this year he keeps telling me he has a birthday that week, and I always,
Your place. Yeah, your
you know.
place.
So this year,
We'll do some Texas barbecue. We don't need Benihana. We got Texas barbecue. We come down here.
I'm all good with that. With my good friend up in Houston, we always
Doug Sanders.
yeah, we always had fun time to have a little barbecue. So
Yeah, absolutely. All right, look forward to it, Randy.
hey, Art Strickland, the Art of Golf Travel. Go to theartofgolftravel.com. Sign up for his trips. Get in there. I'll bug him about that Masters trip. You want to get on that list. We're going to have more information. You need it
Come on to San Diego. Come on to Northern Michigan. Those are two great summer, fall trips we've got coming up.
Well, you got to go and you want to see Art in person. Join one of the trips. Have a lot of fun. I recommend it highly. I've been doing it for years. Anyway, for Art, this is old Uncle Randy, and as I always say, leave a better footprint, because my grandfather said, and he must be right. You always want to leave it better than how you find it. Talk to you soon. Bye, Art.
All right, Randy. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, my friend. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Well, good afternoon, everybody. I want to thank Art Strickland for joining me on Golfers, Golf, and Travel. But as I mentioned during the show with some of the signings, is that we now have Beyond the Broadcast feature, which always brings some exciting, different things, travel opportunities, things that happened during the week that we thought was exceptional, and items that you can also look at buying that we mentioned on our website or during our broadcast. But today, on Beyond the Broadcast, it's going to be worth going to the Matrix to get it done. Here are the instructions to get that done. You go to the matrix.network and sign in there. You got this code and you can sign up. But today's feature, Beyond the Broadcast, is something that happened just yesterday on Sunday as we were sitting and watching from the 9th hole. We were sitting at a table talking to a very nice young man and his grandma, and something happened in my world I had never expected ever happen ever, and there was quite an interesting interview on what that was. So go over to the Matrix, sign up, because we always have these special features, and there we also, on today's special feature Beyond the Broadcast, we're going to be talking about our Distillery Channel coffee that's going to be making a comeback. And So anyway, it's going to be a special feature. I hope that you enjoy it, and always tune in every week to Golfers Golf and Travel with Art Stricklin and myself. So once again, thank you very much, and hope to see you next week.